And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are live with one of my most valued friends. Uh we've known each other for over a decade now. So that's like a very, 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 very long time. Um, Especially for me because I have a problem with having lifelong friends. So this is like not only just a real treat for you guys, but also a blessing for me. The one and only Miss Lala. You know, there's so many other like things you could actually like I could put behind her, and my phone is just going off. I swear, to be a dead phone, it's just going off right now. But enough of that. Miss Lala, how are you feeling this evening in the building?
You already know. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
There we go. There we go.
Okay, okay. Well, I am blessed as always, and I feel very honored and privileged to be here with you. So, thank you for inviting me on your show.
Listen, ain't nothing but love. I appreciate it. Um, so to start, let's you know, because a lot of people don't know the history and everything else. Uh, let's go. Let's take it from the top, the beginning. Uh, I want to say what was that, 2011
It was a
ish.
long time. I
Yeah,
don't. I.
yeah,
It was a while ago, and so much has happened in that time.
indeed. I do remember I hadn't even written a book yet, so that I was still a nurse. I think yeah, you like year one of me in nursing for real. That's another thing that y'all.
Wow.
I used to be a nurse, y'all. Like for 5, almost 6 years of my life,
Yeah.
as a nurse. Um, yeah, so definitely no, that was 2009. Now that I come to think of it, yes, 2009. Yeah,
Yeah, because the babies were only like. So I think no, because the babies were like 3 and 2. So for me, I think it would have been like, I think it was like 2010.
2010. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, because the babies were 2 and 3. Nehemiah was 3. The twins were 2. So that would have been like 2010.
okay.
That's crazy. I have to like gauge timelines by how old the kids were.
I mean, being a mother, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. You know, um, now I do remember that I had started writing poetry. Um, because I had, as a pastime, I had crossed over from writing music to really poetry because of sonnet and lyrics. Um, I can't remember if we were a part of a poetry group on Facebook or not, or what was that?
I know what it was.
Okay, what was it?
You want me to put it out there like that? It was a group for a specific type of woman and their admirers.
Damn. Oh, sorry, you two, but dang, I remember that. You know what? That's a while. Yeah, that was when it was actually good. You know what I'm saying? That was before the flagging. That was before the whole uh
Scammers and spammers.
yeah, scammers, the intention seeking. That was
The
yeah, that
pick
was
me's.
the pick me's. Yeah, that's what they was like interested. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it was interesting. It was interesting. Okay. So yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. And you know what? Not to pat myself on the back, but like that was great marketing, like cross branding and synergy, because like
Right.
I
That was a
really,
really good way to like develop like a fan base and a platform. Like it was smart.
yeah, it really was, because I really gained a lot of I don't know, like I think I did, like I read some kind of like academic study that they said women between a certain age bracket and between,
Dang.
you know, of a certain caliber, they read poetry, you know, or they're at least into poetry or whatever. That's
Yeah. We just happened to click on that because, we both are into poetry and lyricism and things like that. So that was one of the first things that we actually really like clicked over.
right, right. That was definitely that. Um, I do remember. I do remember there being a couple of other things, um, because that's when I started my own uh, poetry page, well, my own poetry group, and then I rocked with that page for a good little minute, and man, it's so crazy. I don't even really remember what I even named that page anymore. Like it was something I don't even remember. I am running a blank right now. And this look, and this is my own life, so like this is kind of like
But
interesting.
it wasn't, but wasn't it a sincerely yours page though?
Yeah. Now, eventually, I turned and that's when life for me got complicated, because I originally just turned my personal page into just like the Sincerely Yours page, and I used to drop on the Sincerely Yours page, and then
Right.
over time I used to drop on the page, and then I created my own poetry group because I got kicked out of that group, that same group that you're talking about. Somehow, like I remember, like my pictures used to go viral back then. I don't know what it was. Like I just drop in there, and then I wake up, and they'd be like 900 or something, you know what I'm saying, like likes and this, that, and the third. There was a lot of people in those groups at that time. And then somebody kicked
Yeah.
me out of that group. So I was just like, you know what? It's cool. I'm gonna just go
Haters
ahead
gonna hate.
and do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I like, even though I'm an okay guy, like I never had that approach. Like I'm the ish. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I'm just showing love and just interacting with people. Like I never said anything. It was some cornball stuff. But I met a
Right.
lot of good people there, and then uh, I created the business page because I wanted to do something different. And it's so crazy. That group might still be operating to this day. I don't know. So I created the business page, and that was before the book. And that's when but I do remember that time period where like it got crazy, because like that's when I noticed that poetry and kind of like I was starting to get notoriety. That and like having a relationship was just crazy, because like it caused a lot of problems, like, and I
There's a
don't,
lot of insecurity.
yeah, it most definitely was, like it was a lot of insecurity things going on, and like I wasn't trying to uh bring that type of energy into my relationship, but like I felt, and still even thinking back like to that time, like people would take what I would take as an artist, or what I would say as a poet in my poetry, and if since I wrote a lot of like romantic poetry or relationship poetry, it would always be reflected on this person, like my girlfriend
Right.
at a particular time and stuff like that. And then that brought problems in my relationship because they would like somebody's, because like sometimes an admirer, I'll just say that, or
A
you know,
fan.
a fan might step above the boundaries and talk to, what I'm saying, my particular girlfriend at the time, like, oh, yeah, in his poem, that man did this. And I'm like, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about somebody way back, what I'm saying, from back in the day or whatever. So like, I don't know. That was just, weird. Um,
Mhm.
and then you had beef with like as soon as I get that straightened out, you got beef with fans and other fans. And I do remember you being one of the people who every woman had a problem with because they was like, she commented, forget about it. I'm not commenting no more. I was like, why? You didn't comment.
I think I actually had like some of your little groupies in my inbox at sometimes.
Why they gotta be groupies?
Do you remember something about that? Like I believe there were times I had to hit you up like,
Yeah, yeah.
yo,
Who was
get
this?
your folks because what?
Yeah, that.
And then like because during that time I was going through my own hell with my own dumb relationship. Are we not allowed to cuss? You didn't tell me the rules.
We go. You just gotta keep it to a minimum. You know what I'm saying? We still want
Okay,
this to be
okay, okay.
monetized. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is good practice for me because I
No,
need
no,
to
no,
work
no,
on my
no, 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 no,
filter.
no, no, hold on, hold on. Not to cut you off, but we gotta, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. You okay? You know what I mean? We gotta go. In a little order here. Past, present, future.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
what are
So
the
if you
rules? What
if
are the
you feel that
rules?
now, they ain't going. You know what I'm saying? All right. But anyway, so at this particular time, yeah, there was. And then you had poetry out at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'm actually like compiling it now into book form. So like what I could remember and new material. Cause why not? You
Definitely.
kind of inspire me to do that. So I'm really like I'm going to, cause why not?
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Not to like bite your style or nothing, but I have like before I even met you, like I had always wanted to write books, and I've started so many. I just like, well, it's been one thing after another for me, and then my own mental health like kind of took a back seat to everything up until recently. So, but
I
now
get
that I'm more focused, I really want to jump back into my own poetry because it's therapy, man.
Yeah, it was. Um, I remember a lot of my poems were reflective based, and I think that's why they gravitated to so many people because how I wrote them, it was therapeutic for me to get some like piece of conscious thought out of my mind. Um,
Hmm.
it was to, also shed light in the show uh, people, you know, a perspective that most people don't understand. That's how I wrote the poem Cover Girl. That's how I wrote, why I wrote, thin line between a angel and a demon. Um, the many short story plots like Deja Vu, Another Day on the Set, um, Her Lifelines, which I got a lot of slack for Her Lifelines because it a lot of women predominantly had went through that, that abusive uh drug abuse type of energy, and guys too. Like I think it's just more common with women that we hear about it more than you hear about, guys
Right.
as much. But
Guys got a lot of the similar struggle as women do, but you're right. Like women tend to be more victimized than men. As I mean, kind of messed up. Like that's what I guess to try to keep men in a strong protector role and women in a demure damsel in distress role, but
True, I do
it's
think it does.
it's weird,
I think it does. I guess somehow correlate with our masculinity, self image.
right? Hmm.
Definitely. And then of course society. Like society has become so, men are supposed to take care, men are like Superman. They're supposed to take anything. You know what I mean? One thing is their kryptonite, where women, they can be vulnerable, they can be, emotional or whatever, which, male and female, traditional.
It's really evolving now, though, where like
I think like the
there's so
roles are
much.
shifting a little bit in certain
You
societies.
it just seems like it's all fluid now and running together. Like there's a lot of fluidity in gender roles at this point where they're almost non-existent, which I'm kind of on the fence about. Like I think in some ways it's good, but in some ways it's also like it's creating like a society of just like confusion and madness.
Right, right. Definitely confusion and madness. So okay. Um,
Here we are.
here we are, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
whoever we get
still.
um so next thing I wanted to talk to you about and introduce the world to is definitely like your, because I mean you're like a Jill of all trades. You know what I'm saying? You know the Jack Jill. You know what I mean? So you're like a Jill of all trades because I know about of course your poetry, then of course your music that you still
Hmm.
have coming out to this day that you're working
Hmm.
on. Um,
Hmm.
and then your businesses. Talk to us about your
Hmm.
business.
Oh man. Well, let's see. I started my first LLC in 2020, and I really that was a leap of faith, but that's Realms Portal, and with me being the Realms Portal, being somebody who's naturally clairvoyant, naturally clairaudient, clairsentient, um, a medium. Um, so I, kind of decided that I'm tired of working for other people and I'm going to invest in myself and be my own business. And I have been doing really well with that. The house fire kind of, no pun intended, made me put it on the back burner a little bit because and everybody who's like, well, if you so psychic, didn't you? Yeah, actually, I did have a vision of the house fire 2 days before it happened. I just thought I had a little bit more time to try to prepare, but I didn't. Um, so, we lost everything, lost the house. We were in New York at the time, and that business is still, up and running. I'm actually now that we're settled again and back in a home. Way out here in the Midwest. About to
Oh,
kick
that's
Realms
highly.
Portal, yeah, back into gear. And since we've been out here, I started a cleaning and lawn service company. And my boys, they pretty much run, my sons, they run the lawn service, and um, I do the cleaning. Um, and then I have a website store with some brand merch that we're working on and getting ready to relaunch because, again, the fire just kind of like you know, jostled my timeline up a little bit. And everything happens for a reason, though. I'm a strong believer in that. So I really feel like that when we do this relaunch, like it's just gonna take off because the idea is solid. Our brand is legit, like it's so fire. I'm really excited about it. So I really can't wait to be able to share that with everybody, hopefully here in within the next 6 months. I'm really not trying to put too much pressure on myself because um, I want quality over quantity. So I'm trying to like really make sure I find the right partners to work with as far as like uh, uh, shirt vendors and uh, like I tried the Shopify route. There's a lot more involved with Shopify than they make it seem.
Okay.
So um, it has its quirks, but I want a team that I can call up like and talk to the same person. You know what I'm saying? And be like, okay, because like technically and
Mm-hmm.
technologically, I still have a lot of catching up to do. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like building the website and running the website, now my little website was cool or whatever, but I think it's cool because I created it and I've had never really created something like that before. It's kind of like the whole thing with my music. So I sent you music. I think it's dope. And I think it's dope because I did that. You know what I'm saying? But
Of
you, from a professional standpoint, can hear where I'm lacking and slacking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So it's the same thing with like the website. Like I like, and that's what I'm looking for now is to try to really build a solid team before we relaunch because I need that solid team. Like, yes, I'm a Jill of all trades, but I'm one of those people who knows a little about a lot. You understand? So, and I'm one of those people who believes that everybody has something to bring to the table. And I like having a table where everybody has brought something too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody eat. And that's just how I rock.
I feel it. I feel it. And that's one thing of being a jack of all trades. Like, that even that saying is kind of like a little cliche because they say it's the jack of all trades, but a master at none. To me,
Mm-hmm.
you never master anything in life because everything evolves. Technology evolves. Your uh, what's knowledge today is becomes historical data. New knowledge today is historical data tomorrow. So,
It's true.
yeah. So, and I
I
that. Hmm.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I remember going uh when I was in computer school. Getting my certification in computer maintenance and servicing and IT networking. Like, I learned DOS, MS DOS. That is like the basic operating system. Like, everything was built up until Windows XP, and that's when I went a different career path. And Windows XP didn't have, like, literally, it had maybe 5% DOS, and everything else was built on a new domain and platform and everything else. So, uh, so
You're
now
talking
we're
about like having to read and write JavaScript and stuff like that,
yeah, like everything from JavaScript to actually prompt
and
commands,
coding and
coding.
stuff.
Like, I learned that, and like I still remember things, to this day, like how to get into a computer from safe mode and do everything from there, loading drivers and everything from safe mode and everything else. Now this new system, I would have to continue, like, and that's what I learned about,
Mm-hmm.
the computer networking field, or the computer field, which is now the technology field, altogether. Like, I would have had to continue being in school every single year. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have been
Mm-hmm.
asinine for me to just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna take some time off, and that's just competing here in America. Now, overseas in like Japan and China, like there's new inventions going in and going
Every
out
5 seconds.
every five
Yeah.
seconds. Like you a millionaire one week and then you dead broke by Friday, just because it's been surpassed and outdated and upgraded and things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. So that's why I was just like, all right, yeah, this is a little bit too fast for me.
And that's the other thing. That's the other reason why I was like with Shopify, like, you can pick and choose from certain vendors, you know, what you're selling, this, that, and everything else. And I'm like, honestly, with things out there like Amazon, Temu, Wish, and everything like that, basically doing that, um, it's better to build your own brand at this point. It just needs to be fire because there's no competing with Amazon, Temu, Wish, Sheen, you know what I'm saying? All that right now, like they kind of have the market cornered. So, like, and I believe that anybody and everybody can learn anything they want to if they put their mind to it. And I realized that, like, I've always been fascinated with language. I think language is absolutely just so interesting and fascinating. And when I fell in love with this Buddhist mantra I heard one time, all I had to do was hear it one time. Like, um, it's in Sanskrit. And luckily, she had the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they're spelled and everything in Sanskrit. But in 30 days, I learned that I recited at least once a day, and like the video, it's 18 minutes long because she repeats this mantra over and over and over again. But in one run, it takes about a minute and 30 seconds to get through the whole mantra one time. You know what I'm saying? And it again, it's in Sanskrit, and when I remember the first time I was able to go through it without having to read, you know what I'm saying, where I was, and then stop and pick back up and know where I was at. Like I was like, you know what? I really, really, really realized the power of the mind and the power of willpower. Like I had already like defied a whole bunch of odds and everything like that, but to be able to say, okay, this interests me
Mm-hmm.
and I want to learn this, and then sat down and put my mind to it to learn. That really changed my perspective on a lot of things. I said, you know what? There's really no excuse for me because if I want to learn it and I have an avenue to pursue that knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
then there's really nothing I can't do. And honestly, there's so many platforms available today where you can pursue the knowledge that you want for free.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have YouTube University, you got Google, you know what I'm saying? The institution of Google, you know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, it is, I feel a little like nostalgic because I remember being in school, and I don't know if you're gonna remember this. Um, but do you remember Axe Jeeves?
Oh my God.
You
I
know what I'm saying?
do.
Like,
Holy crap. You brought me back because I forgot about dude until right now.
like you
Ass
do a wellness check with
Jeeves.
Jeeves. Like, is Jeeves okay? You know what I mean? Like,
Was it Jeeves or Jeebs?
Jeeves, it with a V. I do remember that. It was Axe
With
Jeeves.
a B as in boy?
V as in Viola.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. It was Jeeves, right?
Yes, yes. It's
Yep.
Axe Jeeves. And then
But I bet you in the Mandela effect is the B. It was always Jeebs.
it probably is. Probably is. Probably
I wanted, you know what? Make sure we touch back on that, okay?
yeah,
Like afterwards, I want to look that up and see what they got it as. It was always Ask Jeeves.
yeah, exactly, right.
Oh,
Um,
don't let's not get started on the Mandela effect.
it might have. I wouldn't doubt it. Like, and then I remember you know East Bay, you know what I'm saying? And like it was actually a book. Like I've known people who've gotten in fights over an East Bay book that used to come out and people used to order their clothes and everything else. So now with the invention of the internet, East Bay became eBay and now then eBay birthed Amazon and then it was this is what's so crazy. As a consultant, right?
See, you got an East Bay catalog. We always got Sears.
Yeah, even Sears and Finger Hut and everything, like everybody had a catalog. Even J.C. Penney's had a catalog. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, here's something that a lot of people
Remember when Toys R Us Christmas catalog came out?
what? Yes, I do remember that. I never could afford anything in there, but you know what I'm saying. It was good to look.
It was fun to pretend. Like I remember going through that book. Like I think that catalog was the first time I ever was like, I want to be rich when I grow up so I can afford all this stuff.
Exactly, like, and you know what's so crazy, right? I feel very like I guess I'm feeling how they say the gray hairs, like they're well deserved because I remember before there was any type of like social media how it is now, there was AOL and Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember my first social
Yahoo!
media account was Yahoo.com. Yeah, I remember that. Like I had Yahoo Messenger, and like that's how I was young as I don't know what. I ain't even gonna lie. Like there are some people. Yes, I am telling you right now. I catfished you back then. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was talking to like somebody who was like 19 years old. I was like 12. You know what I'm saying?
ASL.
The
What's your
key came.
ASL?
Yeah, ASL, age sex location. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
created LOLs and everything else. And then it was crazy because you know what? And I will give the younger generation this. Believe it or not, I remember Yahoo used to have chat groups, right? They
Yep.
had a whole chat group with gangsters in it. And it was so crazy because it was like
Yep.
people all over. There was Damus in there, Crips in there, some foes. I was like, what? And like you be in there just kind of like wall watching, and then next thing you know, somebody to PM you like which set you claiming, who is woo, and it's like and it was just funny because they was in there doing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's cracking?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I
And
remember all that. I remember them being like, people being like, you got picture? And you'd be like, oh no, I don't have a
right.
scanner. I don't got no scanner
What?
yet. Remember when you had to have a scanner? Like, oh man, like it's crazy. And it's like, honestly,
Yeah.
it's like from that time, technology in the blink of an eye just became something else. It's like
Yeah.
it's like technology, that's all that technology like pushed the timeline so far forward. Like that's why I'm like looking around like I got a 21-year-old daughter and a grandbaby. My son just turned 16. My twin's about to be 15. Like I just turned 40. What? This
Uh,
makes no sense to me. And I'm like, and it's crazy because yes, I just turned 40, but I like no lie look like I'm aging in reverse. I look better now than I did in my 20s. And that's like legit.
I wish time was so, my body was, would do that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you first met me, I had hair. I had hair. Like oh man, I had waves then. Like that was crazy. You know, I was definitely
Yeah,
wow.
but you know what? Not everybody can pull off the hairless look, and you rock that bald head.
it grew on me. I'm not even gonna lie. I was so subconscious about that for a long
Trust me, I understand self consciousness, so I get it. But
black.
nah, you shouldn't be.
It was something that grew on me. But then, not even gonna
I'm
lie.
not gonna say you shouldn't be because again, I understand being self conscious, but um,
It's
so
just how we
forgive
grew
me
up.
for
It was
that.
bald headed jokes and stuff like that when you grew up or whatever. So yeah, it was like, oh God, now I got bald
Oh,
head.
that's still the first thing I come for when you talking junk to me. That's the first thing I come for.
Listen,
You
yeah,
absolutely right.
well deserved. I mean, you know what I mean. Sometimes I be deserving it. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, but you know, back to just the subject of technology and everything. It's been weird. Like I remember, I thought two ways would last forever, and then two ways was like extinct, and like
You want to talk about something that like I really wish they would bring back the chirp, man. If they could bring back if they bring back anything, please bring the chirp back. I love the chirp.
no, Chirp got so many. Like, okay, now this is on some relationship stuff. If you like 30, 32 and younger, you're not gonna know what we're talking about. But the Chirp was on your phone. People used to have the ability to just and then, hey, what's up, man? It's like having a walkie-talkie
It
on your
was mobile walkie talkie, and as
but
long as you
that
have somebody
so
chirp
many
ID,
cars, at least 30%. No, I say no. That's being too
it
mean.
did have flaws
16%
because
relationships
you
over.
had to be on the same network. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So like, and I think Boost or Nextel
there it
was
is.
like Nextel.
Motorola.
Nextel
Yeah.
was like the name brand one. You know what I'm saying? The high end.
Mhm.
But then Boost Mobile came and did it. You know what I'm saying? Like Boost, honestly, Chirp is probably why Boost Mobile is still in business today because Chirp carried Boost for a minute. Like people that couldn't afford Nextel, I had Nextel. They went to the Boost, and I think that you could use Boost and Nextel as long as you had that star 86 da 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 number. You
Yeah,
remember it started with a star?
yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. And it was weird too. Like, matter of fact, here's what was so crazy. That's when I started noticing like phone companies buying up other small phone networks and
Right.
basically like
Merging.
that's when I learned like I had Sprint at the time and come to find out Boost
They
and
merged with Nextel.
yeah, well, yeah, it was that and
They did. I worked at a call center. Thank you for calling Sprint together with Nextel.
you know what I'm saying? Like Sprint, Virgin are all on the same network. They owned by Sprint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was so crazy because I had the Simply Everything plan, and they was charging me like $120 a month. And I had a cousin of mine who told me he was like, "Dude, you might as well just like be like get the boots." You know what I
Do
mean?
you remember? Do you remember the Virgin Mobile commercial of the Virgin Mobile owner? Move, cat. No, I'm trying to let your. Hold on. Hold on. Of the Virgin Mobile commercial
Uh-huh.
of the owner in his jet, right?
Right.
And he talks about how the day is coming where we'll be able to talk with our thumbs. He was talking about text messaging, but we didn't. We thought like the idea was so abstract because he was in a jet. Do you remember that commercial? And he was like, "The day is coming soon, and we'll be talking with our thumbs."
I
Do
I
you
vaguely
remember that?
I remember it, but I can't. I remember the jet, but I can't remember like the dialogue.
because yeah, and he's literally like he's like, well, we're gonna talk with our thumbs, and he has his thumbs up, and it was like almost as if he was holding an invisible two-way.
Right.
And
I
then the Boost Mobile commercials was the old lady, chirp chirp, where you at?
yeah. I know at least 5 relationships that died because of that. Like, yeah, yeah, it got a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I ain't even gonna lie. And I was like, why would you? Matter of fact, not only did it got
for real.
people went to jail, like that chirp. I mean, oh my goodness.
Because you could just chirp somebody and just start talking.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And like I've seen there was about 2 people I knew where there was a girl who didn't even they'd had no interaction with, but they just was on there like because they timed it right. You know what I mean? And it was just crazy. Matter of fact, oh, you know what? I might as well tell that. I gotta tell that origin story on this channel too. Yeah, 2 friends. This is a preview to that video. So if you're watching this, I'm telling you, look for this video, everybody. Yo, 2 friends got teamed up to get one guy, right? And steal that guy from another girl, right? During this whole entire chirp era, okay? Then here's what's so crazy. They're not friends anymore. Because guess what? They ended up once the one friend got that guy, the other girl, you have to stay tuned for the that's just a preview. You have to stay tuned for what happened in that story. That was so crazy. And I knew every party involved. I got all the sides and angles. It was crazy. But yeah, church, nah, that's something that doesn't need to come back. I don't nah, there's too much snitching going
It
on.
just need to be tweaked a little bit. Like you need to get an alert, like such and such is trying to chirp you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look like it goes off like a text message.
You're
Yeah.
good with tapping the screen, recording a message, and then you hear it when you press the yeah. Let's keep it at that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because some
I
people,
know. I just think I was just so in love with that technology when it came out that I still am just like, I don't know, because it was so new and innovative. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
true
was
indeed.
cool.
So,
Yeah, it was cool.
um, so real quick, you
But I
know,
think it's good to have for like, apocalyptic times, because it's a freaking walkie-talkie and you can still communicate with. And that's the other thing. Like, even if your phone was off and you had chirp, you could still chirp.
I really don't. My phone was never off. That's just the thing. Like, and that's the thing. When I went from Sprint, I went to Boost, and then like for $600 a month. No, it was $300 a year. I paid my home phone bill for the whole entire year and had the same service. So it was like whatever, whatever. Like, so yeah, I didn't foresee that. Oh, real quick, going into the, 'cause we could talk forever and a day about that and
We can just talk forever and a day, period.
everything. um, let's get into this new show. Too grown for this. Oh,
Too
what's
grown.
like? Oh, excuse me. It's too grown for that. I'm sorry, typo. So how like what are your expectations for the show? Like, how do you feel, and why did you sign up to do this show? Like,
Well, um, I was approached by a very good friend of mine um, to possibly be a host on a new podcast that is launching. What is it? A podcast, video cast, a little bit of both. Basically, what we're doing at this very moment, a live stream.
eh,
I told you, technically, and I'm still learning terminologies and stuff like that, especially when it comes to, you know, things of this nature, because this is really foreign to me. This is actually my first time ever doing something like this. And but it's cool. Like I'm with it. I like this. I think this is a really awesome way to connect people, and I'm all about that. So I think it's a great way to network. And too grown for that. I really see it as a really big success. This is a platform for, I think, more than anything, us to talk about things that are, one, maybe a little taboo, two, have kind of become almost normal in our culture and like our American culture, that I think need to be like re-examined, and maybe reprioritized and reconfigured, because there are a lot of things going on that is just not okay, that people are cool with. And I think that it is something that we as a society need to grow up. Like, we need to grow up. There's like we're in a day and age right now where, like, just being immature, having the wrong thought process, um, straight up toxicity is normal. It is accepted. It is sought after. And these are things that we need to be discussing, and somebody needs to be brave enough to go against the grain. And uh, I'm your huckleberry.
I mean, I think that's dope, and I do agree. There's a lot of things that needs to be like done over, and I think I'm excited for the show because you have a lot of information that and your experience in areas that I think just like it's a show that needs to just have the set the record straight show. Like y'all, everybody's had the clowns and the laughs and the ha ha ha's and everything else. Okay, to set
Right.
straight, this is what it is. You know, and
Right.
um, this is actually, in case y'all haven't figured it out by now, this is actually a show that I'm going to be executive producing. So no more me in front of the camera, everybody. It is their show. I am so done with that. I'm trying to be behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I need to do best. You know what I mean? But I'm actually so happy for that. And in fact, I'm supposed to be interviewing your co-host tonight. So this is kind of also a pilot, so that people can get to know you, understand your temperament, um, a brief into your synopsis. So with these last 10 minutes, I'm going to do top five Iron Lion. Okay, so this right here is a segment I got called top five Iron Lion. And basically it's just a brief how you feel about a certain subject, you know what I mean. um and it's five different things, five random topics. So top five Iron Lion. Question number one: do you feel that people are too clandestine on the whole, like, you're not a minority or quote unquote black if you don't vote Democrat, or if you vote Democrat, you know what I'm saying? You're ignorant because you're not like Republican. Like, how do you feel about this whole, like, you know, straight Democratic ticket election? This the way we do politics here in America. How do you feel about that?
These are the questions you want to ask in the last 10 minutes. Okay, so let me try to keep this. Let me try to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. Okay, all of the political parties are different sides of the same coin. Okay, it's like they're like more like one of those D&D dice. Okay,
Mhm.
where they're all on the same dice, and they're oh my gosh, I feel the way I do about politics as I do about religion. It's all meant to confuse us. And um, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, especially, their main goal is to keep us poor. Okay? If you are not in the 1%, um, you know, tax bracket, we're irrelevant. We are but servants to them. But they are giving, people who don't know any better this notion that they are our servants, that they do us a public service, and that they are working for us. That is literally their plan working.
Mm.
People that think that we are actually like choosing our president, choosing who's in office. No, whoever made the biggest donation to X, Y, and Z is who gets elected. Whoever completed their hazing is who gets elected. Whoever completed their task. It's no different with the Grammys and the Oscars. You know
Ooh.
what I'm saying?
Mm. Coming out swinging. Okay, question number two. Is it better to be loved by all and feared by few?
Hold on. I'm gonna have to put my focus on. Sorry. What was the question?
Is it better to be loved by all and feared by few, or feared by all and loved by few?
Well, I'm gonna speak from my own personal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that one's a tough one because I think I would rather be feared by all and loved by few for the simple fact, me being somebody who was not religious but highly spiritual, okay? I have a tendency to upset uh my enemies, okay? I would rather my enemies fear me and the right ones, like the right energies out here, love me. And my life is literally proof positive of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not one of those people who feels like, oh, if such and such doesn't like me, how am I gonna ever make it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how I don't like, you don't like me. Oh well, honestly, I'm one of those people who like is like, that's really your loss. And if you don't like me, chances are I'm dodging a bullet.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Question number three. Do you feel that we are living in one big simulation?
To an extent, yes. I do. I don't think that simulation is the right word. Um For people who are truly like awake in their purpose, they know we chose to come here. We know we chose this mission. And we are actually somewhere else. We're actually at home right now watching us complete this mission or fail this mission.
Okay. Question number 4. Is it best to be single or is it okay to get married? In today's time, I'm talking about presently right now, is it best to be single or is it okay to get married? Which one, if there's two different products, which one are you buying? Are you buying best, the single product, or is it okay to be married?
If it's a choice that I have to make, I'm gonna go with single, for the simple fact, well, there's a couple of reasons why. Um, I don't believe that you have to be married to have a successful relationship. I believe that marriage should not have to involve the government telling you yes or no or okay. Like I don't think that they need to, it's they just finding a way. The government only cares because they want to make sure that they getting both y'all money. You know what I'm saying? So I like again, I don't think that you have to be married to have a successful relationship. But today, in this day and age, let's say we're not even talking about a relationship, period. My choices are get married or stay single. I'm gonna stay single for the simple fact you can't trust people these days. You know, I know me, I know I love myself. I know not going to have to put up with no BS, no wondering, no insecurity, no just no drama, nothing. I know I I don't have to rely on anybody to go hard for me and mine because I'm gonna go hard for me and mine. So I can't be disappointed that way.
Okay. Last question. Do you trust yourself?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, without question.
Yes.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been a great episode. And
Agreed.
introduce LaLa. And LaLa, thank you so much for stopping by. For giving us this time and everything.
Thank you
Um,
for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
it's always so natural when we talk. You know what I mean? So everybody, please, when you see this, also what'll be coming out here, beginning of November, there should be too grown for too grown for that. Excuse me, I was dying here. You know what I'm saying? Too grown for that. A TV show. You're gonna hear from another interview show on this channel of the new show that's coming out, and that's more of LaLa and Dawn as your two hosts. I'll be moderating, of course, and that's it. Well, everybody, it's been real. It's been love. LaLa, have a very good night,
Thank you.
day,
You as well.
and depending on who's watching this, hey, be good to yourselves as you're good to each other. Peace.